at the weekend. But let's take a look at the group and see how those permutations work out. In fact, we'll take a look at the teams first of all, starting with France. A strong lineup from France. They are very good. I was going to say very good at this age level, but they are very good at every age level. France, some of the teams to look out, or some of the players to look out for: Yoram Zague, who has made plenty of appearances for Paris Saint-Germain. Noah Sangui as well has made several Ligue 1 appearances. Johan Tincres up top, the number 9. He's the man that scores the goals for them at this level. And for Scotland, plenty of familiar names for those that watch a lot of Scottish football. Lennon Miller back into the starting lineup and captaining the side again. He'll surely be a huge influence. Ryan Oney is another player that's made Scotland under 21 appearances, but is helping out at this level as Scotland look to make it to the tournament next year. So as I mentioned, it is quite confusing. It can be quite confusing with permutations. We certainly learned that last night, didn't we, when we watched Scotland's senior side. And as you look at the league table, France are top, Wales second, Scotland third. Liechtenstein are out of it, but there are a few permutations. I won't muddy your brains too much with all of them and the meanings behind them, but simply put, Scotland have to win this game, but just a win isn't enough. It needs to be by 2 goals or more. A win by 1 goal would be enough if Scotland win 3-2, 4-3, 5-4, etc. However, 1-0 or 2-1 wouldn't be enough. Scotland led out by captain Lennon Miller. The team's lining up. Rory Loy alongside me, Andrew McLean, for this one. And before we get into the action, we'll get into the national anthems. First of all, starting with France. That the national anthem for France, of course followed by the national anthem of Scotland. Well, with so much pride for these young Scotland players to represent their country, and Rory Loy alongside me, not only the pride of representing their country, but so much on the line tonight as well.
Yeah, good evening, Andrew. There is indeed, and Scotland have a bit of history against the French in qualification campaigns, so hopefully we see a few moments of magic tonight. We've got a strong team out there, so fingers crossed it can do enough to get through, although it is going to be quite a big ask, I have to say, Andrew.
Yeah, the biggest test Neil McFarlane has faced in his short time as the Scotland Under-19 manager. He had 5 friendly matches coming into this campaign. Started off the campaign with a narrow defeat to Wales, a 4-0 win over Liechtenstein at the weekend. But this France team, as French teams tend to be at all age levels, have so much talent, and it's not done and dusted for them either. They've got it on the line as well, whether they'll get through to the elite round, so they know what's at stake. Scotland know what's at stake, and it should make for an exciting game.
Yeah, well, I think there's so much talent on show. Obviously, we'll see what the French side are all about in the next 90 minutes. But the players in there that have got league experience, play for some big clubs over in France. Having said that, we could be guilty of talking about other teams like that. We've got good players on our team as well. Ryan Oney playing down south at the moment. You've got Lennon Miller in the middle of the pitch, of course. Aidan Borland looks a really good player as well. So, Rudy Molotnikov, showed flashes at Hibs where he's been excellent. So, we've got a lot of talent out there as well. So, fingers crossed they can show it tonight.
Lennon Miller back into the starting lineup after being rested for the Liechtenstein game. Captain's armband, just shaking hands with Joaquim Kai-Sanda before that, who is the France captain for the evening. The referee, Menelaos Antaniou from Cyprus, will be overlooking this one as the French team just in a huddle. Final words from their captain. Scotland team out on the pitch for what is a cold evening. The game initially meant to take place at Forthbank Stadium, but the artificial surface here will cope well with the freezing cold weather.
And it's a good artificial surface as well, Andrew. It's conducive to fast flowing, good football. And as I've already touched on, there's a lot of good footballers out there. So, I'm really, really looking forward to this one to see what the youngsters can put on show.
Rudy Molotnikov standing over the ball. The Hibs forward, who certainly in the game against Wales was one of the most impressive players for Scotland. There have been a few over these last few games. This the final push to try and get into the elite round. And quite often you'd maybe see teams sit in against the quality of France, but Scotland can't afford to do that all night tonight. They know they need goals, they know they need to win this game.
Yeah, and we've heard through the grapevine that I don't think Neil McFarlane plans on sitting in and trying to soak up pressure, and it's been a positive start, I have to say. I don't think France have had a touch of the ball yet.
Yeah, Ryan Oney showing the link-up play that he showed brilliantly at the weekend against Liechtenstein. I think Neil McFarlane will be happy just with these opening few seconds. His players getting some time on the ball, just allowing themselves to ease into this game. But you can even tell from the way the team is set up how many players are pushed up onto that France backline.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to sit back and wait for anything to happen. They'll have watched the senior game last night and what's possible if you go front foot and you go at teams. I was quite surprised with the kick-off. They went a wee bit longer, but it has worked out pretty well so far.
Molotnikov, brilliant harrying from Rudy Molotnikov, who's into the France box, goes for the effort from a tight angle. Goal kick to France, but promising signs early on.
Yeah, really promising signs, and it just shows if you put the French under pressure, then they will make mistakes. Rudy Molotnikov does really, really well. In the first instance, he makes a good decision to go and press and wins it. Possibly makes the wrong decision with a shot. I think Ryan Oney was in a better position, but why not have a shot this early on?
It has been a feature of Neil McFarlane's side, that high press that has worked well at times. As the header comes forward from Dylan Smith, goes back in his direction. Lennon Miller attempting to win it back, but France will come away with it. Yoram Zagwe to Sanda, over to his defensive partner Gadu. Looks for that ball over the top of Colby Donovan, but it's too far. Scotland will have the throw. It's the Celtic man to take it.
Yeah, I think Aidan Borland and Lennon Miller, just anchoring the midfield, will have big roles to play tonight, because if you're going to try and play possession based against a team like France, the centre of the pitch is vastly important. So they've started really well. Long may it continue. Ball comes back to
Scotland in possession at the back. Happy to just take their time in the early stages of this game. Rory Mahadi in goal, the Leeds United stopper. Started his youth career at Celtic before moving down south. Goes long towards Ryan Oney, who has that physical presence, is able to hold off the French defence. Flag goes up eventually, and it will be a free kick to France.
Yeah, it was a really good run from Ryan Oney, actually. You could see him looking at the goalkeeper, Rory Mahadi, who just waited on that little movement, and he sent it. The ball did hold up slightly on the surface.
Free kick to be taken by Paul Arnier. Head to toe in orange for France tonight. The header won well by Donovan. Once again, Woody Molotnikov always quick onto his man. Clipped forward by Sanda. Will be a throw in on the far side to France.
Yeah, it went 4-2-3-1. Scotland, Alfie Bavidge is the number 10, so he'll need to get up and help and support Ryan Oney.
Space to turn in the centre of the park. It's well taken in by Amugu. Goes forward to Tincrez. Nice first touch away from his man. Diallo skips away from Dedi. Bamba tries to feed that one in. We'll get another attempt to get this into the Scotland box. Zagwe headed away. Danger not over as Miller gets his foot on it. Sanda back to Gadou. Sangui cuts inside.
They move the ball well. The French, they do it with pace and with purpose. Some good defending from Mitchell Frame on that far side, though, a couple of times. Good header away, but before that, he had a wee ball that was meant to go in behind him, and did well to intercept it.
Sangui. Gadou, who plays his football for RB Leipzig.
This is where it's important that Scotland are disciplined, Andrew, because if one person or one player tries to go and press and the others behind them aren't switched on, the French will hurt you. So they need to be disciplined and move up the pitch slowly but surely, as they're doing now.
Yeah, keeping their shape well in these early stages, Scotland. France trying to break through it. The clipped pass to find Diallo, unable to keep it in, came to him at an awkward height.
Yeah, I think Neil McFarlane will be happy with that wee passage of play. He's clapping his players there because they did show good defensive discipline and ended up forcing the error. Bamba overhit the diagonal pass.
Donovan gets it back from Borland, tries to go long towards Ryan Oney. The pass looked slightly undercooked at first. France get away with it. Amugu's ball over the top. Scotland have some defending to do. Mahadi quick off his line and deals with it well. Here's Dedi. Threatened to show that pace that he's got, but thought better of trying to drive through. Just felt it was better for Scotland to keep possession and work it forward. Molotnikov.
Neil McFarlane really encouraging his players there, because it was a fantastic touch from Lennon Miller in the middle of the pitch, and he found his midfield partner Borland, and so calm and composed under pressure.
Miller nicks it away from his man. Under pressure from Amugu. Goes back to Murray Campbell. But once again, Mahadi just happy to wait and see what the options are ahead of him. Looked for a second as if that option would be long.
Yeah, they need a little bit more movement, I would suggest, at this moment in time, Scotland. We're getting a little bit now. Need some rotations to create space, because this ball up to Oni's fine every now and then, but can't continue to happen all the time.
It was taken down brilliantly by Ryan Oni. Scotland can't keep possession over there, but the long ball up to Ryan Oni. Scotland saw what it could do against Liechtenstein. A couple of times it was played down the right channel to him, and that's where 2 of the goals came from. A young man, but has a real physical presence up there. You can see why the confidence has been shown in him from his boss at Sheffield United, as Scotland once again press well. Josh Deddy this time putting the ball out for a throw.
Yeah, Deddy and Babbage there, all over the French as they're trying to take touches. It's good to see that they back themselves to be able to go and do that.
I think Neil McFarlane will be happy with the opening 9 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think they've shown intent going forward. Okay, they haven't created anything, but neither have France. I think they've shown really good understanding of what he wants from them when France are in possession. Know when to spring, when to trigger the press, and they've shown good composure in possession as well. So I think it's a really positive start overall, I have to say.
Ryan Oni goes down looking for the free kick, won't get it, and France can now try and come forward with Leo Milanet. Alaji Bamba. Sangui has Alfie Babbage for company. He's forced to just go along the back line again.
Just wonder if Neil McFarlane and the team will look to that Wales game, which could really have swung either way, to be honest with you, Andrew. Disappointing 1-0 defeat, but as I said, it was a tight game, and one which, you know, may be decisive in this group. Hopefully not, but I just wonder if they'll look back on that chance missed.
Still a big opportunity tonight for Scotland to try and get into that elite round of qualifying. But they know they need to beat France and need to beat them by at least 2 goals or a high scoring 1-goal victory. 3-2, 4-3, 5-4 as Rudy Molotnikov shifts away from his man. He's looking for the options ahead of him. There's just one too many white shirts surrounding him. Amugu gets it back from Bamba. Bit of a heavy touch, but France keep possession. Sangui. Lennon Miller wins it back for Scotland. Here's Aidan Borland pulled back. Not just a free kick, but a yellow card as well. Alaji Bamba in the centre of the park for France. An early booking for him.
Yeah, probably does meet the criteria for a yellow card, Andrew. You know, it was very cynical. He pulled him back. He knew exactly what he was doing. He made no attempt to play the ball. So France did have a lot of players back, but you know, you could argue stopping a promising attack. So yellow card it is.
Bamba, one of a couple of players in the starting lineup that is based at Monaco. A few more on the bench as well.
I have to say, I visited Monaco on a holiday to Nice recently, and it'd be quite a nice place to play your football, I have to say, Andrew.
Can't hide money. Milanet trying to skip past Mitchell Frame. Stands firm.
Molotnikov and Deddy have got a lot of work to do tonight. You know, they're playing either side of Alfie Babbage, so they're having to get up and support, but at the same time, when France are in possession, they're having to run back and pretty much plays fullbacks in a back 5. Great pressing there though, gets the corner.
Yeah, tireless work from Scotland when France have the ball in certain positions. Work to their advantage that time.
And it just shows you as well, I mean, Gadou's clearly a very, very good player. all the France players are very technically astute and very good, but it doesn't matter how good you are. If the press is good and you put them under enough pressure, they're going to make mistakes, and it showed there.
Lennon Miller's first chance to deliver from a corner. Scotland have nearly every player in the France box floated in, headed away, and maybe a chance for France to get forward here. The ball, not the right one from Tidiane Diallo, and Mahadi will gratefully take that into his arms.
Yeah, Diallo did well, stretched his legs, very, very quick, but really poor decision. He should have kept running with it.
Smith's ball forward finds Donovan. Miller with the ball over the top, searching for Ryan Oney, but he had Gadou for company. Arnie to Melanie. Miller to Babbage. A shove in the back and a free kick to Scotland that France are making sure Scotland don't take quickly.
Yeah, it's clumsy from Gadou because there's no need to make the challenge. Babbage isn't going anywhere and he just simply shoves him in the back, and it's a good opportunity for Scotland now. Don't get me wrong, the French are a big side, really big side, so aerial battles may not be won by Scotland, but if they can get a bit of panic in the French box, then you just never know where the ball will drop.
Lennon Miller, not just the responsibility of set pieces for his national team, does it for Motherwell as well. This one floated into a dangerous area, but I think the offside flag has actually gone up on this near side, and it will be a free kick to France rather than a goal kick.
Yeah, I think it was just about where a goal kick's been taken anyway, but I have to say, I mean, Scotland have started really, really well, Andrew. Very impressed so far.
Certainly not fazed by some of the experience in this France team, but when you look through the Scotland side as well, plenty of players who have appearances in senior football. Play will go on with Dylan Smith down, who took a bit of a head knock. Surprised the referee hasn't stopped this one. Eventually does. For the Ross County man. On loan at Arbroath this season, Dylan Smith. Made 6 appearances since he made the move. Don't think he'll need medical attention.
Yeah, they're going well, Arbroath in League One. And to be part of that will be good for Dylan Smith and his progression and development.
Was a regular for Ross County at the end of the 2022-23 season. Played plenty of matches, but still young, just 18 years of age. And like a good few of these players on both sides, loan spells will be crucial to their development. Ball back to Arnier. Puts his foot through it. Donovan wins the header. Bamba tries to thread it through for Melanie. Back in the possession of Scotland. He's tried to be dinked over towards Ryan Oney. And France, a couple of times, have maybe looked a bit clumsy at the back.
Yeah, they tried to force the pass there through again. Mitchell Frame did really well. I know he wasn't the one that intercepted it, but he was marking the runner.
Arnier with Ryan Oney pressing him. And it's enough for Arnier just to slice that clearance. As a feature of Neil McFarlane's side, they want to get the ball back into play quickly. Mahadi. Sees the run of Rudy Molotnikov. Mitchell Frame it was actually who got up to win the header.
Yeah, the left back went further up the pitch. Just wonder if when
Rory Mahadi does have the ball, I think there just needs to be a little bit more movement to try and create some space, because those longer balls are going to get gobbled up by the French. I know Oni's a good outlet at times, but you don't want to consistently be kicking it longer. Even if you can get the likes of Miller running in behind, creating space for others to go in and get the ball.
Molotnikov. Here he is again on the turn. Goes back to Campbell. Tries to go over the top, sees the run of Alfie Babbage, and it wasn't far off. Well, the youngster getting in.
Sorry, Andrew, that's exactly what I was just talking about there. I mentioned Lennon Miller doing it, but Alfie Babbage did it there. Running beyond, it creates space, it creates a bit of panic, and it opens up a little bit more space for Ryan Oni to maybe get the ball at the feet, and it keeps the French defence guessing as well. So yeah, need more of that.
Another foul in the middle of the park, this time Aidan Borland taken down. Neither goalkeeper has had anything to do in the opening 20 minutes of this match, but certainly Neil McFarlane will see the signs that his team is capable of causing France problems. Can they do it from this deep free kick? Lennon Miller's ball. Just a bit of confusion I should say, between Smith and Donovan, neither of them able to get a boot on it.
Yeah, Lennon Miller put his hand up in acknowledgement. He just shanked the drilled pass ever so slightly, and it took all the momentum out the ball.
No, Sangui just being told to take the throw in from a bit further back. That's a lovely turn by Tincrez. Switches the play to Zagwe. Joachim Kai Sanda plays it forward to Milane. Bamba. Amugu. Joan Gadou to the France skipper, Sanda, back to his defensive partner.
Be more than happy with that, Neil McFarlane. I hear him screaming for his team to get up, and they do eventually get up. And you know, France have went from being in the attacking third right back in their own half. Really impressed with the discipline of the shape and the structure.
Yeah, France just having a tough time trying to break through this Scotland press.
They are working hard, right enough. Don't think they can keep this up for 90 minutes, the amount of running they're put in, but that's what your subs are for.
Songui. Tincrez, the first time ball is wayward. Borland skips by Amugu and gets the ball to Smith. Campbell back to Mahadi. Zagwe hooks that one over his shoulder and out of play.
Yeah, let it bounce, Zagwe, which he shouldn't have done. He could have had an opportunity to control it, let it bounce, and ends up giving possession back to Scotland via the throw-in.
Campbell. It's been quite a feature of this half, just Rory Mahadi being given the time by the French players to try and pick that long pass forward. It goes over the head of Josh Deddy this time. Seems to be the preferred option at the moment for Neil McFarlane's team is to look for that longer ball, whether it's over the top or whether it's to try and take it in or win second balls.
Yeah, I think it's a really good option, but it can't be the only option. There needs to be, you know, more than one, because it becomes a little bit predictable at times. And Rory Mahadi's had the ball in that area a number of times, and you know the ball's always ended up back in the possession of a French player. So yeah, really good start, but that's maybe one area where Scotland players, I've said it a couple of times now, you just need to move a little bit more, rotate and create space for one another and give their goalkeeper an option.
Colby Donovan to take this throw for Scotland. Goes in towards Ryan Oney on the turn. And it's straight at Paul Arnier, but showed his strength with his back to goal. Created the opportunity for himself, Ryan Oney.
Yeah, he did really well. He managed to swivel and get away from the defender as well and get his shot away. Unfortunately for Ryan Oney, it was straight into the hands of Arnier.
Miller thinks that one over the top, tries to find Babbage. We'll get another opportunity to try and create. Deddy. Borland into Donovan. Exchanges passes with his Celtic teammate. Scotland will get another chance from a corner.
Really, really good move. Some nice triangles, good partners of play. Deddy, Miller involved, Donovan involved as well. At least another corner. I think they maybe worked on, I think it was Smith getting across the first man with the first corner Lennon Miller had. So I just wonder if we put a little bit more height in this, put it right in the mixer, see what comes of it.
Yeah, Scotland do have height in there, the likes of Colby Donovan and Ryan Oney. They look dangerous, Scotland players, a couple of them, claiming for a handball off Leo Millinay. But it is gathered by goalkeeper Arnier. Not sure there was too much in that claim.
No, I don't think so, Andrew. I think it was more hope than expectation, to be honest.
Amugu takes it down in a crowded area. That's a lovely turn from Amugu. He releases Diallo. Tried to at least. Diallo unable to get the ball under his control. Bamba. Nice touch away from Molotnikov. It's now Millinay. The block comes in from Miller. Gadou, who plays his football for RB Salzburg, moved from PSG in the summer for a reported fee of about €10 million.
Not bad that, Andrew, is it? 10 million at his age, quite impressive. But to be honest, how many of his teammates have been made to look average so far tonight by a very good Scotland performance?
He did pick a nice pass through that time for Silla. Has a couple of options to his right. Zagwe is the one he chooses. Back for Bamba. Diallo squares up Deddy. Gets by him this time. Amugu. A lot of the playing going through Amugu, who's at Saint Etienne. He's made 10 Ligue 1 appearances this season, only missed one game for them.
I mean, they're certainly not hurting Scotland. You would want at some point, if you were France, to try and play that wee threaded pass when it's on, but they do a lot of sideways and backwards passing, and that's credit to Scotland as well.
Here is Amugu, forward for Tincrez, but Colby Donovan in the right place, and a brilliant ball forward because Ryan Oney can try to run onto it, and his running forces Gadou to put it out for a corner. But that all came from that long ball forward by Kobe Donovan, and we saw that against Liechtenstein a couple of times down that right channel, playing it towards Ryan Oney, and his running power really can terrify defenders.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. He's running power. He's a really strong runner. He's athletic, takes big strides. He's strong as well. He can pin a centre back, and normally it's one or the other. If you're a big man, you're usually a target man who doesn't have a lot of mobility, whereas he's got both in abundance.
Yeah, Donovan's ball was curling round Gadou, who could feel that pressure from Ryan Oney. Ball in from Miller. Donovan almost getting his head on it. Molotnikov has that low centre of gravity. Dedi. Miller with the reverse pass to Borland. Looked a good one, but Songui was over well. It's going to be a booking for Aidan Borland. I think maybe just pushed Songui over after the ball had gone out of play.
Yeah, I couldn't quite see what happened there, but Borland maybe a little bit too eager to get a ball he couldn't get to.
Noah Songui, another player who has plenty of Ligue 1 experience. 11 appearances for Rennes this season.
He looks sharp, Songui. I don't think France have been particularly at it so far tonight, but Songui showed little flashes when he cuts inside. He's quick off the mark. Looks a good player.
Aidan Borland, the second player to go into the book after Alaji Bamba earlier in the half. Ryan Oney takes that down on his chest, and Miller, well, that could be another booking. It is for Gadou. Just too heavy in that challenge on Lennon Miller.
I think Lennon Miller screened it a little bit. He knew it was coming. He got rid of the ball, pulled his leg away. I think the sound effects were maybe in aid of getting the player in the book. His dad was good at that as well, to be fair to him. But no, really good anticipation there by Lennon Miller, I have to say. In Scotland, I wouldn't go as far as saying they've bossed the game, Andrew, but they've certainly been the better side.
Another set piece to be taken by Lennon Miller. Floated towards the France box, but it's taken in by Arnier. Won the Golden Glove at the 2023 Under-17 World Cup. Sanda. Gadou, who will have to be careful on a booking. Both teams claiming for it. The near side assistant saying it came off Kobe Donovan last.
He's on a mission, this referee, I tell you. Straight over to Neil McFarlane, who's not even left his technical area.
Yeah, I think he was just unhappy with the way that decision went. We will play on quickly. I did wonder if Neil McFarlane was going to be the next in the book. Milanay with the flick. Samba on the run. Flicks it by Babic. And then pushes over Babic, who does really well to get his body in front of the France midfielder.
Tremendous work rate, application to get back in there. I actually thought he was beaten, but he proved me wrong. Get back in front and wins the foul. Fantastic from Alfie Babic.
Yeah, looked for a second as if the midfielder had Babic beating all ends up, but used his body really well. We'll have to be careful, Bamba, because the referee had a short talking to him after that incident. Is of course already on a yellow.
I wouldn't be giving this referee any reason whatsoever to pull out the cards.
Mahadi launches it towards Oney. Miller wins it back for Scotland, but I think the offside flag's gone up.
High boot, I think, Andrew. I think he felt that Lennon Miller went in with his foot a little bit too high, which I have to say seemed a bit soft, but maybe get the chance to have another look at it.
Yeah, it looked as if he maybe did win that cleanly, Lennon Miller, but not to the referee's taste. Songi leaves the free kick for Gadu. Good header by Dylan Smith to get in front of Tincrez, and once again it's towards Ryan Oney, who battles well, battles brilliantly past Gadu, and couldn't get the pass, was looking for the run of Molotnikov, but not only showing his strength, but a really nice touch in there from Ryan Oney.
Yeah, it was a beautiful touch. He's in Gadu's head a little bit because Gadu's made a couple of errors, and Ryan Oney is able to pin him and then take a lovely touch. Tries to thread the through ball, doesn't quite come off, but really intelligent hold-up play from Ryan Oney.
Oney came through the youth academy at Hamilton, played 36 games for them as a youngster, scoring 4 goals before making the move down south to Sheffield United. Has been in their first team plans as well, scored a late goal against Bristol City when they were 1-0 down recently. Ended up in a 2-1 win, and then came off the bench in a derby against Sheffield Wednesday in a game they won 1-0. Shows the confidence that their manager has in him at the age of 18.
And you can see why. I mean, his physique, his running power, good ball that.
Yeah, the cross into the box. Could fall for Josh Deddy, who gets a barge in the back.
Oh.
Big claims from Scotland. Looked as if Josh Deddy was impeded as he went to go for the ball, but the referee says no.
Well, the first penalty shout was faint, and so it should have been. Well, that one was a lot louder, and it looked to me as if he got a good shove in the back. The defender got caught wrong side, Deddy get in behind him, and I think he gives him a good dunt in the back there, but the referee says absolutely not. He's a lot closer than we are.
Certainly the fact that it looked as if Deddy was about to get a shot away as well.
I think the defender was panicked. He knew he'd been wrong side. He got caught out ball watching, and I think he just shoves him.
Borland. Frame. Through for Molotnikov. Scotland threatening again. Molotnikov trying to cut inside. Sanda with the defending in the end. France just having to clear their lines because they're all a bit panicked back there.
Yeah, they are. His movement's so good, Molotnikov. He's so sharp and getting away from his man. Maybe again could have just played it across the face of goal. Decides not to do so, but really good movement.
Borland goes back to Campbell. Just goes out for a goal kick to France, and the referee having none of that. Arnier was trying to go and collect the ball that was further away than one that was right next to his goal. But we will see this again, this penalty claim. There certainly was a barge in the back from Diallo. Josh Deddy going down.
I've not changed my opinion watching that, I have to say.
I think France and Diallo lucky to get away with that one. But they have looked a bit rocked in the last few minutes, and that's all because of positive play from Scotland.
Yeah, I just wonder if there's an element of underestimating Scotland slightly, because they've not been at it, France, but you've got to give credit to Scotland. Okay, they haven't carved out fantastic opportunities, but they've controlled the majority of the match.
Zagwe instantly under pressure from a couple of Scotland players, but he did well to release it. But Silla's pass goes out for a Scotland throw. Dylan Smith. Miller. Outside of the boot. Cleared by Sander.
Yeah, Mitchell Frame had made his way forward there, and he was trying to run in behind the fullback. Lennon Miller spotted the run, but he couldn't quite get out his feet enough to find the pass or get enough purchase on it. But again, Scotland controlling the ball and having the majority of the possession.
Yeah, the likes of Lennon Miller, Ryan Oney, who have under 21 appearances. Good commitment from them, though, that they're more than happy to come and play their part for the under-19s in this camp, with the under-21s not in action.
Yeah, I don't know if their managers will be overly keen on it, but you know, all credit to the players for turning up. Stuart Kettlewell's here tonight, and they'll be hoping Lennon Miller comes through unscathed.
Songwe. Alfie Babbage does well. Does concede the throw. Babbage, not a starter against Wales, but with a couple of goals against Liechtenstein, certainly played his way into the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah, and he's done well so far, as of all the players out there in that blue shirt.
Bamba. Captain Sander, just 17 years of age, but trusted with the captain's armband, probably to do with his senior experience. He's at Valenciennes, who were relegated to the third tier of French football at the end of last season, but it's probably helped his development in the fact that he's playing plenty of matches for them.
Yeah, I don't know what he's up to at the moment, because he's got the ball a couple of times and he's, you know, rolling his foot over the ball as if France are in total control, and like he's very casual. He needs to pay more attention to taking care of it rather than showing off.
Once again, it was that Scotland press that forced France to give the ball away.
Yeah, and you know, that little move there is summed France up. Really, they don't look at it at all whatsoever. And I think if your captain's getting the ball with loads of time and he's not lifting his head and he's just more interested in, you know, doing wee step overs in his own half under no pressure whatsoever, I think that has just pretty much summed up France's first half.
Sander heads it, only finds Ryan Oney. Babbage trying to get the pass back to him. Amugu. Melanie doesn't manage to keep it in.
Really poor again from France. They've been slack. I don't think their attitude's been particularly great either, but let's take nothing away from the Scottish performance. Could just be nice to carve out a couple of opportunities, Andrew, wouldn't it? Try and grab a goal and get that belief that they can actually go on and qualify out this group.
Well, still a few minutes to go in this half to see if Scotland can maybe go into the break with the advantage, or even with a bit more belief that they can get in behind this France defence.
I wonder how far Rory Mahadi could actually travel with the ball at this point before he was... Oh, here we go now. He was getting put under a bit of pressure now. I just wondered how long it would take Tincrest to actually put pressure on the ball.
I think that's the first time he's been pressed all game. And that ball forward has found Babbage, and Scotland have a chance here into the box. The strike is a brilliant one, but the save from Arnier is really good as well. Rudy Molotnikov going close for Scotland, and we said it, Scotland maybe just needed that one opening to get that belief, and they got it there.
Yeah, it's the drop of the shoulder just there. It does the defender, opens up the space, and it is a fantastic save. You're probably wondering, could Molotnikov have got it either side of him? But take nothing away from the save. Really good one. But what a fantastic move from Scotland. They waited for the France press, and they were able to play through it. One thing France haven't been able to do to Scotland so far.
A couple of goals for Hibs in the League Cup group stages this season. Rudy Molotnikov going close there as Scotland get that one in towards the back post. The header from Dylan Smith, I think, took a bit of a nick. Arnier able to take it in. Quick throw to Tincres. Goes back to Samba. That positivity is something Neil McFarlane can use at half-time with his players. Just point to the fact that they can trouble this France team, that they've more than matched them.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And I just commented there that the one thing that was missing was maybe a lack of clear opportunities, and Rudy Molotnikov got one there, and he'll probably be disappointed. He could have done better, but it was a wonderful move, and Molotnikov gets a clear sighted goal, but unfortunately couldn't find the net.
Zagwe, who has made his debut for Paris Saint-Germain, 2 appearances this season. He's also scored for them as well on his 18th birthday against Nice in May.
Quite the 18th birthday.
I won't ask you what you did on yours.
I actually scored on my 16th birthday in a reserve game at East End Park for Kilmarnock, so I remember that one, but not quite as impressive as scoring for Paris Saint-Germain against Nice.
Well, the referee not happy with Josh Deddy and Tidiane Diallo there. Just maybe a bit of afters when the free kick was given, and Diallo will get a talking to.
Yeah, I don't think there's referees happy with many people out there. I don't think there was. Deddy takes the ball. Yeah, it's a foul, but it's not really that much afters afterwards. He gets up and walks away. I'm not quite sure what all the fuss is about. It's a foul. Let's get on with it.
Does have a turn of pace, the referee. Miller's ball in. Caught by Arnier, who goes down holding his back. Just the 1 minute added in this half. We've almost completed it. And this could well spell the end of what's been a positive half for Neil McFarlane's men. They'll feel that they can really build on this going into the second 45.
Very much so. I would echo that for sure. I think I'd be delighted.
Well, Scotland do need to win this game. They need to win it by a couple of goals, or they need to win it by a scoreline of 3-2, 4-3, 5-4. A high scoring 1-goal win. But they've certainly shown signs in that first half that they can trouble France, and Neil McFarlane will be happy with what he's seen from his team. They will have that confidence that they can go out and continue to cause this France team problems. A France team that has quality in it, players who have played Ligue 1, top tier in France. Some big chances in there for Scotland, a couple of them. And we can take a look at some of the highlights. Rudy Molotnikov, one of the players heavily involved for Scotland going forward. Welcome back to the Falkirk Stadium, where Scotland Under-19s are currently goalless with France Under-19s, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Neil McFarlane's Scotland side will be very happy with what they've produced so far in this game. A game that they need to win. They need to win it by at least 2 goals, or they need to win it in a high scoring 1-goal win, a 3-2, a 4-3, along those lines. But certainly Scotland have got the better of their opponents so far, to the point where France are going to make a couple of changes at the break. Tidiam Gomez and Kembo Dilawidi are coming on. Tidian Diallo coming off, as is Joan Tincrez. So a change to the front line. It really hadn't caused Scotland any problems so far, Rory Lloyd.
No, they hadn't. I think the wide men had that habit of a lot of wingers these days constantly wanting to come inside and not run the line. Scotland had their number all over the pitch, so I'm not surprised to see a couple of changes from the French, because they were very, very underwhelming in that first half.
Yeah, not much of a spark from the France front line, but as the game went on, the Scotland front line just grew in belief. Ryan Oney and Rudy Molotnikov both testing the France goalkeeper, and they'll be hoping that it's more of the same, but they do need to get those goals if they want to make it into the elite round of qualifying. Will be the same story for Rory Mahadi, just given time on the ball.
Well, the very last time he did that in the first half, and he was pressed by Tincrez like he is about to be now, that's how the Rudy Molotnikov chance came about.
It almost led to another opening for Scotland, but the ball deflects back off of Josh Deddy and out for a goal kick.
He will need to use his bench, Neil McFarlane, in this second half though, because they're putting an awful lot of work in, especially the wider men, having to cover a lot of grass, or astroturf should I say. You'd be forgiven for mistaking this for grass, to be fair. It looks beautiful out there, it's just been relayed, as I said, conducive to good football.
Samba goes out wide. Arnie, who had to be alert to make that stop from Rudy Molotnikov in the first half. Sanders' header. Kembo Dilawidi trying to get his first involvement of the match. Throw in to be taken by Yoram Zagwe.
He's not in a rush, is he, Andrew?
Well, a draw does suit France.
Yep.
He's been on the bench for all 4 of Paris Saint-Germain's Champions League games this season.
Yeah, it just tells you a little bit about the calibre of the opposition and how well Scotland have done in this match.
Well, the French players really not happy with that decision, and there's going to be another booking. This time it's the captain, Joachim Sander, who goes into the book. Scotland wanting to take that throw in quickly, but Menelaus Antoniou still had the admin to do. Miller looking for Deddy, unable to find him. Gomez goes back to Arnie. Campbell's header isn't towards any Scotland players. Sanders' ball is accurate towards Milne, the only surviving member of the front 3 from the first half. It's dinked in, held by Mahadi.
I think that's the first time he's hit the byline. He does get there, but he tries to dink the cross in and hang one up, but just far too close to the goalkeeper, and it's easy pickings for Mahadi.
Borland. Nice pass through to Molotnikov. Only trying to keep possession for Scotland, but it's Bamba who wins it, and an opportunity for this new look France front three to try and make something happen. An ambitious effort from that range, but the deflection means they'll have a corner.
Yeah, I just wonder what we said at half time, because France do look like they've had a bit of a talking to it. No more dilly-dallying on the ball, random step overs at the back and things. It's front foot now, see how Scotland contend with it.
Substitute Tidiam Gomes with the shot there. There's a couple of goals for Cannes this season in League 2. Scored 3 goals in this group stage. Probably surprising he didn't start. The effort takes another deflection and another corner to France.
Yeah, Amagou this time with the shot, takes a big deflection and out for another corner. It's probably the most pressure France have had on Scotland throughout the whole match.
Well, as you say, the half-time team talk from Jean-Luc Vanucci looks to have worked. Certainly in the opening 5 minutes of this second half. Amugu. Zagwe. Goes from range, Zagwe. Off target. Frame. Murray Campbell, the Burnley central defender. Joined from St Mirren the summer of 2023. Here's Lennon Miller. Searching ball for Babbage, and there's Molotnikov to get it back for Scotland. Donovan. Millany. It's opened up a bit for France. Here is Leo Millany. Powerful strike, saved. And Murray Campbell, well, maybe a bit of a risk, the area I put that into, but makes its way to Babbage, who's fouled, or looked to be fouled in the middle of the pitch, but the referee waves it away. Here's Sander, the captain. Amugu. Out wide to Gomes. Bamba. Back to Amugu. Past Josh Deddy. Looked to be, but Josh Deddy does well to recover and get the free kick for Scotland.
Yeah, really good defending, really strong straight up, and get hauled back and won the foul. But France look a different beast in this second half. They're doing things a hell of a lot quicker than they were in the first half. It's a very strong save by Rory Mahadi. It was right at him, but he still got his arm up, got the block in, and got it away from danger.
Campbell. Borland clips that one out to Donovan. And there's Babbage in behind. Just out-muscled in the end by Gadou. First time ball, I think the flag maybe would have gone up. And the referee actually made the decision before the assistant on the near side put his flag up.
I can only assume he communicated with him, because the referee's not in a position to call an offside, regardless of the fact it was 3-4 yards offside. But this referee does like to be the centre of attention, I think.
Mahadi, who's been playing in the Premier League 2 for Leeds youth side this season. 7 appearances for them.
Just want to hear Murray Campbell to just take a step off the game and get the ball, rather than having that long punt forward.
Well, it does go long. Dilawidi, hassled by Deddy. It's now Songui. Gomez switches the play for Zagwe. He's got Milane ahead of him. Here he is. Campbell goes long. Bamba's pass is a 1-2 with the referee.
He's just gaining a little bit more control in that midfield, Bamba. He couldn't get to grips with the game in the first half. Miller and Borland dominated him, but he's certainly having more of a say here.
Had an influence against Wales at the weekend, scored the equaliser in that 2-1 win. Amugu to Bamba, lovely first touch away from Lennon Miller. The pass over hit for Milane.
Yeah, Lennon Miller did well there actually. He was sold one and Bamba did well, credit to him, but Miller didn't give up. He got back in and forced the error, much to his dad's delight, who's a few rows in front of us. Gave his boy a clap.
Got a goal and an assist against Liechtenstein, did Leo Milane. It's looked a bit brighter in the second half.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
Scotland are readying their first change on the touchline. It's going to be Sam Chambers, Leeds United teammate of Rory Mahadi, who's on the ball at the moment. The pass was good this time from Mahadi.
Still a difficult one, Andrew. It's travelling so far and it's coming out the air, and then you leave yourself exposed like this.
Gomez. One way, then the other. Gomez slips as he shoots and goes a lot further wide than I think it initially looked it might be. But it will be time for Scotland to make that change, and it's going to be Alfie Babbage who makes way. 2 goals against Liechtenstein at the weekend. Couldn't quite have the impact that he wanted today.
Yeah, he put in a really good shift, Alfie Babbage. It's not always what you want to hear as an attacking player. It's not something I like to hear. You always wanted to hear a good finish because you'd scored a goal, but he did put in a power of work, worked hard for the team, worked back the pitch, took up some really nice positions as well, higher up the pitch, so you can be pleased with his night's work. But I did say I don't think you can keep that going for 90 minutes, so he's been replaced.
A free kick given away of France, but it maybe just does show the depth that Neil McFarlane has to play with. 17-year-old Sam Chambers has already made his debut for Leeds United first team against Plymouth in a 3-0 win this month.
I know he's very well thought of down there, as you would expect, given he's made his debut already, so let's see what he can bring.
Campbell. Goes short this time to Campbell. Ryan Oney with a lovely touch round the corner, and Mitchell Frame trying to get away from Yoram Zagwe but unable to. That move almost coming off for Scotland. France wanting the free kick, but Mitchell Frame getting the ball back in Scotland's possession, and they can try again. Yeah, and it all came from Murray Campbell just making that little movement when Rory Mahadi had the ball, and he played it out to him, and all of a sudden France try and press. He plays the first time ball into Ryan Oney. The long ball this time dealt with by Zagwe. Campbell's header. Miller. Flicked over from Molotnikov. The pass behind Frame, who will gather. This is more like it from Scotland.
Yep, lovely touch by Miller. Over his corner. No look pass, straight to his teammate.
Referee once again seen something he's not too keen on between Zagwe and Frame. Frame, another player that's made his senior debut, came off the bench for Celtic against Feyenoord in the Champions League last season. Dylan Smith had to be alert. That pass back and his pass away, maybe got a stroke of luck, but it bounced off Dilawidi and back into his own path. Nice flick round the corner, but Deddy's in there and showing his pace down the right. Can he get past Samba? It's in towards Chambers. It was calm play by Gadou.
Yeah, he took a risk there, Gadou, got away with it.
Amugu looking for the run of Gomez. Asked a bit too much of him, but Mahadi had found himself in a good position.
Yep, good reading of the game from Mahadi. He's made a good save tonight, showing good composure. I know that one went out the pitch under a bit of pressure, but he's had a good night.
An hour gone at the Falkirk Stadium, still goalless between these sides. At some point Scotland are going to have to push even further forward, but can they create something here with Ryan Oney? Sangui gets back and nicks the ball off his toes. Sander. Ball round the corner towards Milanese, a good one. Amugu's pass is wayward, and here's Sam Chambers. Skips by 1, 2 French players.
Oh, he's unlucky.
Just can't get the ball through to Molotnikov, but a promising first real involvement for Sam Chambers.
Yeah, it was really positive. To be honest, I thought the ball had run away from him a couple of times, and he managed to manoeuvre his body back in front. He's unlucky trying to pick out that pass. I just wondered whether he was going to have a strike at goal. I thought he'd picked the right option, just the execution wasn't quite there, but really, really positive start.
One of the newer members of this Under-19 squad came in for the first time last month for that friendly double-header against Hungary, featured in both of those matches. Smith. I think he was hoping that Ryan Oney was going to make that run, but Oney wanted it to feet.
In fairness, that there hasn't been many of those tonight, Andrew. You know, most passes have found a blue shirt.
Well, that ball over the top is a good one. Milanese can get into the Scotland box, goes for the near post. Mahadi would have had it covered, but a bit of danger from the French.
Well, I think it's starting to show now that Scotland need to win the game, because they're committing men forward and it's leaving them slightly exposed at the back. Milanese with the shot there, which hits the side netting, but he had a lot more room than he had in the first half, and I think the reason for that is Scotland recognising they need to get themselves forward and try and get themselves the win.
Dylan Smith. Mahadi just telling his central defenders to stay wide. Opens up the space for Ryan Oney, who I think got a bit fortunate with that touch, but you'll take it.
Good bad one, they call it, Andrew.
Have a few of those in your time.
Oh, yes. They also had a good number of bad ones, and bad ones alone.
Molotnikov has 2 for company. Milanese does his job, tracking back.
showed a lot of passion on the sidelines tonight. Neil McFarlane, I've enjoyed listening to his instructions and his enthusiasm and his encouragement, and the product he's put on the pitch tonight has really impressed me, I have to say.
Well, no matter what happens tonight, it will be a good experience for these players, but also for Neil McFarlane, his first competitive camp with the Scotland Under-19s. Does this job alongside being the Brentford B team coach as well. Has been assistant and coach to the likes of Stephen Presley, Robbie Nielsen before that.
Yeah, he was at Falkirk he left just as I had signed it before my first spell, and all the lads in the changing room spoke really highly of him. He was a first team coach here, and he was well thought of, well liked.
Silla, who's been maybe the quietest of the French midfield.
That was a really good move by France there, actually, but it was let down by Amagou, who's disappointed with himself. His manager showed some frustration as well there, because they'd worked the ball really well into some space.
It was a nice turn by Gomez, and he gets the ball forward to Delawede, who tried to create a bit of space for himself. Maybe just a slight bit of surprise at the frontline selection for France tonight, because they have looked livelier with Delawede and Gomez up there. Gomez especially, who scored a couple against Liechtenstein, one against Wales. Mahadi looks for Oni, but the header's won by Gadou. Campbell's ball forward, just left to go out by Zagwe. And Scotland ready to make another change. Bailey Rice will be next on, and he's going to come on for Lennon Miller, who will hand the captain's armband to Rudy Molotnikov. So Lennon Miller's under-19 camp will be over and replaced by a player who he came through the ranks with at Motherwell, Bailey Rice, before Rice made the move to Rangers.
Yeah, I think Stuart Kettlewell be breathing a sigh of relief. Had a really good game tonight, Lennon Miller. But to be honest, everybody in blue shirt has. I'll be looking forward to seeing what Bailey Rice can bring.
Another who's made his senior debut, has played for Rangers, Bailey Rice. His debut in February 2023 away to Livingston. Has been on the bench 5 times this season as well.
Yeah, maybe not the environment at the moment at Rangers where Clement will think about introducing young players, but he's got to do it at some point, and Bailey Rice certainly seems to be quite high up on the list of products which are coming through the academy at Ibrox.
No stranger to this level. Bailey Rice as well has made plenty of appearances, but Scotland do have a lot of quality in there with the likes of Lennon Miller and Aidan Borland, who's put in another good performance tonight.
Yeah.
Kyle Ure at Celtic also starting the first game against Wales. As we close in on the final 20 minutes, you would expect this game will start to open up. Gomez. Holds off Deddy and happy to just run into where the space is. That ball forward from Gadou wasn't what Amugu wanted.
Yeah, the distribution from the two French centre-backs hasn't been great at all. They've made a good few unforced errors straight out the pitch under not a lot of pressure, you would have to say as well, Andrew, so I'm sure that's a source of frustration for their manager.
Sander, composure to turn away, but the pass gives away possession.
Dylan Smith did well there, showing a good bit of composure, taking the touch and finding the goalkeeper. He's definitely had a word though, Neil McFarlane, at half time, and tweaked a few things with regards to the goalkeeper having the ball, because they've mixed it up. They've played short passes, as you can see there. Chambers trying to come to the ball. He doesn't want to just launch it. He's obviously been given an instruction.
Quite happy to beat the press there, Mahadi, but just didn't have the option when he switched onto his left foot. It's now Milanay to Zagwe. Here's the PSG man again. Silla. And now a real chance for France to try and create an opening. Amugu, lovely turn from him. The shot straight at Mahadi.
Yeah, Donovan gets a little bit unlucky. He reads the play well, but I think he maybe stands on top of the ball and loses his footing. And it presents the opportunity to France, but it's straight down the throat, as we see there, of Mahadi.
He's had a lot of time on the ball at his feet. He's not really had much to do with his hands, Mahadi, as he plays that pass through to Molotnikov. Brilliantly turns away from two French midfielders. Rice to Borland. Campbell. Rice with the ball forward to Molotnikov. Finds him. All the way back to Mahadi again.
Yeah, you don't mind that. You can't play forward all of the time. And they've retained possession, Scotland.
Campbell's first time pass round the corner finds Oni.
The difference in the space it creates when you just wait for somebody to press the ball.
Ball through to Chambers, but he commits the foul on Songui, and it's going to be a free kick to France. But there's been a good few times where, when Scotland have played short, they've just managed to get that quick first time pass away, and it's really opened things up.
Yeah, and Neil McFarlane's obviously recognised in the first half that when that situation occurred, which it did 5 or 6 times, you know, the turnover in possession, because the ball was just coming straight back. More often than not, Ryan Oney did have a couple of times where he jostled for possession, but more often than not it was coming back, and he's recognised that and given the instructions out to the players to try and move and get on the ball, come short. You know, and the defence has done well to give him more of an option and find Ryan Oney when it has come into them.
Oh, lovely touch over the top from Dilawidi, who collects it at the other side. Donovan doing the defending in the end. Only once again not allowing the French defenders to have any time on the ball. That helps Scotland get the ball back. I think we're just over 15 minutes to go. There will be a few deliberations from Neil McFarlane and his staff over what to do next.
Yeah, I think I heard them shouting Daniel Cummings in, so whether it's the single change or a double change, we'll wait and see.
Campbell. Frame. Zagwe wins it. Drives into the space in front of him. Flicked away calmly by Smith. The chance on the bounce, blocked by Smith, and it's going to be a corner.
Yeah, it's a good block by Smith, because that had some venom in it. That shot, he catches it well, and it was flying towards goal, so he does well to block it.
The Ross County man putting his body on the line. But the defending isn't over as Leo Melanie makes his way over to the corner to deliver this one. He does have an option short. Can they work this into the box? Here is Amugu. Opens up, goes for the strike. Never going to bother Mahadi.
France have been better in this second half. Milanese had that shot which hit the side netting, and Mahadi's had a couple of shots, but you know, ones you'd expect him to save, and I think it's goes to show how well Scotland have done that any other real chances have been shots from distance.
Rice doing good work in the middle. Mahadi towards Chambers, who felt some pressure from behind, gets the free kick. Ball over the top, looked a good one, and Deddy gets it under control. Donovan. Rice for the first time pass in behind, can it find Deddy? It's well done by Songi.
He's really sharp and quick, Songi. Even when you think he's on the back foot, he somehow manages to get there.
Good harrying there by Delawedi, just forcing Scotland back. Mahadi showing composure to find Smith. Here's Donovan. Just looking down below, it's going to be a triple change for Scotland, probably the next time the ball goes out. The final throw of the dice from Neil McFarlane. The ball goes forward towards Ryan Oney, just unable to take it away from his man. Songi does fantastically well to carry it into the Scotland half, get it to Melanie, and Murray Campbell puts it out for a corner. You'd expect the changes will wait.
Yeah, Senko's been France's most impressive player in my eyes. I think he's been pretty good. Just need to see this out, this corner, get the substitutes on, and then try and take a little bit of momentum into the last 10 minutes or so and grab a goal.
Melanie on corner duty for France. Into the box, headed away by Molotnikov, further away by Chambers. Melanie deflected and into the arms of Rory Mahadi. Good pass by Rice towards Frame. Chambers. Amugu. Sanders' ball is a good one towards Gomez. Past Deddy. Amugu to Zagwe. You can hear that applause of encouragement from Neil McFarlane.
I don't think he'll be able to speak tomorrow. He'll have lost his voice. He's done that much shouting, but it's all been positive, as it should be, given the performance. Just need to try and find that little bit extra, Andrew, to grab a goal. given the circumstances.
Well, the hope will be that the 3 substitutes waiting to come on can provide that. Some fresh legs, some new ideas. Hadi just asking for some movement. Molotnikov up into the air, goes out, and that will allow Scotland the opportunity to make that triple change. Neil McFarlane with the high fives for his players. Aidan Borland, the first to come off, he'll be replaced by Kyle Ewer. Daniel Cummings to come on for Murray Campbell. Rory McLeod on as well, with Rudy Molotnikov making way. Daniel Cummings, what a goal record he's got for Celtic's B team and youth teams this season. 20 goals in 18 games, 16 in 13 matches for the B team in the Lowland League. He's got 4 and 4 in the UEFA Youth League. So if you're looking for a goal, he may well be your man. McLeod trying to cause some issues. Bamba on the turn in midfield. Gomez, it's a good challenge by Deddy, or it looked a good challenge, but he's been booked for it.
Yeah, the referee, you know, he's quite eager with the yellow cards. He was stretching Deddy. He did get the ball, but in this day and age with the current rules, that's not always that relevant. You know, we'll see it again here. Deddy, player skips by him, and then, yeah, he does catch him, to be fair. I actually think he pushes through Gomez's leg to get to the ball, so I can understand why the free kick was given on second viewing.
The medical staff making their way on. This will suit France, because a draw for them means they will make it through to the elite round along with Wales. Scotland need to get themselves on the score sheet, and they need to get themselves on the score sheet more than once. And Neil McFarlane just calling his players over and can use this break as a bit of a timeout, really, just to get those final instructions across to his players. Tell them maybe what tweaks he wants as Scotland chase a goal, chase a couple of goals.
Yeah, a good chance to get his message across. I just wonder whether he's saying to them, look, we need to start taking a couple more risks, and this is how we need to do it. Because, as we've said throughout the game, Scotland need to win. They need to win at this stage. It's going to be, let's be honest, by more than one goal, because it's not going to be 3-2 or 4-3. There's just simply not enough time for that. So I just wonder if Neil McFarlane will be saying, look, it's time to take a few risks.
Tidiam Gomez has had his treatment and he's okay, ready to continue. Doesn't need to go off after getting treatment because Josh Deddy was booked for that challenge. Bamba. Bamba again, the Monaco man has grown into this game. That long ball forward will be retrieved by Dylan Smith.
Yeah, I don't even think you can call it a long ball. I think it's just a punt. As I said, I've been really disappointed with the two centre-backs in the French team. Certainly don't look worth £10 million, either one of them. Maybe a bit harsh given their age, but you know, I look at the Scotland centre-backs and I think they've done every bit as well, if not better. And I don't just mean defending, I mean composure on the ball, distribution, all the things you would expect historically a French team to be better at than a Scottish team.
Amugu. Silla does well in a tight space to pick out the pass to Melanie. It goes back to Sagwe. The 1-2 with Silla. He might just go himself. Sagwe gets the corner out of it. Into the final 5 minutes here at the Falkirk Stadium. And as it stands, it's into the final 5 minutes of Scotland's Under-19 Euro 2025 qualifying campaign. Still time for Scotland to try and get that goal, put that pressure on, but they'll need to defend this corner. It's blasted over the bar by Tidiam Gomis, who over the last few games has shown a lot more composure than that.
Yeah, and Daniel Cummins will be breathing a sigh of relief because he was at the front post and he doesn't get enough contact on the header, which he should have done. Luckily for him, the shot's blazed high and wide. Bit of a tired pass, that one, Andrew, I think. The legs of the players that started the game sapped of energy now. Just need to find a way to try and get up the pitch and create an opportunity.
Colby Donovan with the header, now wearing the captain's armband, taking it from Rudy Molotnikov. That pass looked a bit short initially, but what about that from Paul Arnier? At this stage in the game, you have Rory McLeod bearing down on him. Wasn't phased at all.
Nope, showed good composure. He really did.
The French players just showing a bit of flair, a few touches. Maybe they see that clock ticking down. Maybe they feel that their place in the elite round is safe.
With 4 minutes left and Scotland needing 2 goals, you'd probably forgive them for thinking that, to be fair.
Bailey Rice couldn't quite get the ball off Samba. Rory McLeod can't quite get the ball off Songi. And a free kick being given will suit the visitors. One you'd expect they'll take their time over. They could well make a change during this interval, and they will do it. It's going to be Ismail Bouneb coming on for them, and Leo Milane, who's had a much better second half than he did in the first, will come off. Plays his football for Le Havre. Ismail Bouneb made the summer move from Valenciennes. But as you'd expect, no urgency from France here, although I don't think the referee's actually blown his whistle yet, we're just waiting. It will have been a game that France will have come into expecting to win, just based on their history at youth levels, the level that their players are at. But Scotland have more than matched them. They've looked very good, and despite the fact that it looks as if it's not going to go Scotland's way and Scotland won't make it to the elite round, they can be very happy with the way that they've played against this French team.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, you have to say, over the piece, they've not created opportunity after opportunity. Molotnikov shot in the first half. Donovan just missed a header as well. But France in this second half have had opportunities themselves, so I think a draw overall is fair. It's a shame we've not seen any goals tonight from Scotland, but you know, they can be very, very proud of their performance, especially in the first half. I thought they were excellent.
Silla. Bouneb. Ryan Oni not happy at seeing the French players just playing the short passes between them.
backs off there. Oh, poor timing of the pass. Sangui's got to run all the way back in again.
Yeah, still showing the energy in the 90th minute of the game to try and get forward. And it maybe looked in the moments prior that France were happy to keep the ball and be conservative. Scotland will have 4 minutes, a minimum of 4 minutes, to see what they can do, to see if they can create a chance, maybe get a goal in the next minute or so, and see how this injury time unfolds.
They've kept the ball well, France, in the last few minutes, which has been a source of frustration for Scotland, but you have to give credit where credit's due. In the last 5 minutes or so, they've sawed the game out pretty well. I know there's still 4 minutes left.
That's a good ball by Zagwe over towards Gomez. Dedi gets the ball in for Ure, and there's Rice. Just a slip by Daniel Cummings. Not what Scotland need at this stage of the game. Zagwe. Bamba. Gomez.
Doesn't seem interested in going forward. They had an opportunity to put it in the box there.
Once again, just slowing the pace of the game down. Here's Amugu. Dedi getting his foot in there. Yeah, the French side happy to waste as much time as they can. In these final few moments, almost halfway through injury time. Ure getting his foot in. Anya goes long. Out of play. With less than 2 minutes to go, you expect that that will be it for Scotland, but plenty of young players who have another Under-19s qualification camp in them.
Yeah, Neil McFarlane will have learned a lot from these 3 games. You know, it's his first 3 games in charge of the Under-19s, taking over from Billy Stark, so I'm sure he'll have a lot more ideas going into the next one.
France just eating up time with a final change. Fode Silla coming off, I should say, and Pape Cabral is going to be the one coming on. Well, who's been your standout player in this game, Rory?
Oh, I think there's a lot of good performances in the Scottish side. All 4 defenders have performed admirably, but I think Rudy Milotnikov in the first half showed some real moments of magic. He went toe-to-toe a few times with the French defenders, came out on top, fashioned a couple opportunities for himself as well. And I think if anyone was going to make the difference, it was him. So I would say Rudy Milotnikov would be player of the match for me.
Was also a standout against Wales in Scotland's first match, Rudy Milotnikov.
He's probably just suffering a little bit at the moment at club level because Hibs are going through a bit of a tough time, and it's not easy as a young player trying to impress and really express yourself in those circumstances, but fingers crossed for him, things pick up at club level and he can show what he's shown here tonight.
Donovan's throw headed into the air by Oni, who gets another chance to flick it on. The chance for Daniel Cummings, saved by the feet of Arnier, and what an opening for Scotland right at the death with seconds left on the clock.
I don't know if he can do much more, Andrew. He gets his head over it, good connection. It's just a really good save from the goalkeeper.
Oni with the flick on this time, and the free kick goes the way of France. And you think that may well be it. 3 French players down, but that from Daniel Cummings on the turn was a big opening. But as you say, he had to be instinctive there.
Yeah, as I said, he gets his head down, he gets his laces through it. I don't think it was one for placing. I think it was the one for just making sure you hit the target. You got good power on it, and Arney makes a good save. You know, I said a draw would have been fair, but I'm not going to lie, it would have been really nice to nick it, wouldn't it, in the last minute.
A couple of goals recently against RB Leipzig in the UEFA Youth League. Daniel Cummings couldn't find his way past Arnie there. And you'd expect, once the French medical staff have dealt with the players, it probably will be full time and bring this campaign to a close for Neil McFarlane's side. Not to be, they will finish third in this group behind France and Wales. The cheers go up from the French players. They are delighted. Hands in head for the Scotland players, but they certainly can be proud of not only their showing tonight against France, they're showing
See, Dylan Smith did well, trying to get back and put him under a bit of pressure.
And despite the fact this wouldn't have put Scotland through, it still would have been a goal that Scotland would have earned. Daniel Cummings on the turn did everything he could, really, but the save by Arnie.
Yeah, I'm seeing it again, and I still think, you know, it's instinctive. He's under pressure from the defender, he's looking away. I don't think he can do much more with that. I think the keeper just makes a really good save, and sometimes you just got to hold your hands up and say, you know, they were unlucky.
Well, this is how it leaves the qualification league table. 3 games apiece. France will finish top after that goalless draw tonight. Scotland unable to do what was needed to get into that top 2 and get into the elite round. But only 1 defeat from the 3 games. That was in Wales on the opening day. 4-0 win against Liechtenstein at the weekend. And a 0-0 draw against France tonight, which is very good when you look at the quality that was in that French team. they'll go through on 7 points. They'll go into the elite round. They'll be one of the teams that will be the favourites to go on and make that tournament next summer and make a real dent in that tournament as well. For joining me on commentary, and to all those who made this possible.